We have True Crime Lounge with Becky and Johnny Gunn's Investigation coming to give you a good, exciting night tonight. And hope you guys enjoy. First thing we're going to do tonight, we're going to cover a few different events tonight. We're going to cover the Suzanne Morphew. They found her remains in Colorado, who's been missing for 3 years?
Yeah, since 2020.
2020. And then we're going to cover the Powell case as well, the murder. They just captured her murderer. And then we're also going to do the recap of the Sidney Powell trial. She was sentenced today. And then we're going to definitely follow up on the big one, the Bryan Kohberger murders. And Becky, if you want to take it over, we have a film for the Suzanne Morphew.
Yeah.
She's from Colorado. Mm-hmm. She went on a bike ride on Mother's Day 3 years ago and never came back. They accused the husband of the murder due to all the investigation and the evidence that they did have, but they never did find the body for 3 years later. Very well-known family in the community. She was from Moffett, and then she was found 40 miles from the actual location that she went on the bike ride. So she's been missing for quite a while. So now, yesterday, they found the remains of her body, which were about 40 miles from the location to where she started her bike ride. The way they were able to identify the body, they were actually out there on another case and then came across these body remains and were able to track it down to her dental records, which showed that it was Suzanne Morphew. And they had to use a dental records because it was out there for 3 years. So the animals, the heat and the weather, there really wasn't that many remains to be able to be seen, but for the actual dental records. And then her husband, Barry, is now, they're able to put the charges back up on him because the charges were dropped, but not all the way. They were held because in case they found the body and they found any type of evidence, they were able to bring back the case to see if they were able to charge him on that. So let's go ahead and watch this video and see what's going on.
Right. Major development in the case of Suzanne Morphew, the Colorado.
Hold on.
Colorado mom who vanished on Mother's Day in 2020. Her husband was initially accused until the charges were dropped. Now, 3 years later, officials say they've found her remains. Ariel Resha is here with that story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Robin. Investigators say they've never given up the search for Suzanne.
Okay, so we're just going to have some
discovery cracking the cold case wide open, raising new questions about what happened to the Colorado mom and who is responsible.
This morning, a major break in a cold case that gripped the headlines. Colorado authorities say they've located the remains of Suzanne Morphew, the mom who mysteriously
technical difficulties again, so
disappeared 3 years ago on Mother's Day. Investigators say they made the discovery around 45 miles south of Morphew's home while they were working on an unrelated case, not revealing the exact location or state of the remains. The 49-year-old vanished.
Yeah, I'm just going to refresh.
Major development in the case of.
Let me get back to that.
We're going to refresh this tape because something's going on.
Yeah, we'll get back to that spot.
Okay, folks. She's going to go ahead and reset that, and then we'll replay it back from the beginning. So just bear with us.
An unrelated case, not revealing the exact location or state of the remains. The 49-year-old
Okay, so it doesn't look like
vanished after her family says she went for a bike ride in
we should just find a different clip.
May of 2020. Body camera capturing the moment.
Guess where she was found in Colorado. And she was bike riding on that track, actually mountain
discovered her
bike
on the
riding.
side of the road in a.
Yeah, I'm just gonna find another clip of it. Into this.
And that was the bike that they found where she was missing, because she was missing for 3 years, which is a shame. And then they went back and blamed the husband. You know, that's who they go for first. And all the evidence did lead back to him being.
Well,
charged.
they dropped the charges. They haven't taken or put any charges back on him as of yet, but they do have the option to put those charges back on him if it does come to that. I did find a different clip, so we can start to play that.
Okay, let's see if that one works.
Defense attorney Peter Tragos. Peter, thank you so much for your
Just the connections today.
time. So we know at the heart of this, there is a family now grieving that, you know, we heard from Nicole there, they had been holding out hope. But we have to talk about what so many people are focused on. Those charges against Barry Morphew were previously dropped without prejudice. So what does that mean as far as moving forward?
That's what you were just talking about.
So there are two ways to dismiss charges. You can dismiss them with prejudice or without prejudice. And if they're just dismissed with prejudice, they cannot be refiled. But if they are dismissed without prejudice, that leaves the door open for new information to come to light, new evidence, especially with a crime of this severity, where those charges could be refiled against the same defendant in a situation like this. And as we know, when the prosecutors dismissed the charges in this case, they said they expect to find the body, and that could reveal new and further evidence against the husband in this case.
Absolutely. And the discovery of her body kind of seems to have been a fluke. You know, somebody stumbled upon her body, but this investigation really had been hampered before. You know, prosecutors had to deal with the fact that there was no body. How does this new discovery of Suzanne's remains change this potential case?
That's Suzanne.
So it is really interesting that it was found while they were doing a completely different investigation, which leads me to believe that maybe it does not fit into the grid and timeline that they have with the evidence for the husband in this case, because they have his movement data from his vehicle, from cameras, from cell phone data, and yet they were never able to find the body while focusing in on him as the prime suspect. However, we know firearms are at play here potentially with the husband's background and what they found at the house. So the cause of death could be obvious depending on how things went and what the body's condition is now, even with the elements and
the elements are going to be hard,
like was mentioned before on the show. And it's really going to depend on what prosecutors can gather from that evidence. But no body, no crime is a cliche, because it is true for the vast majority of these cases and very difficult to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt without a body. And that is no longer the case here.
Well, and now they have the body.
We know, you know, that Barry had what could be considered some, you know, suspicious actions, some suspicious movements, you know, before and.
That's gonna. You can stop that, but that's basically what we were talking about is what they found. So
yeah, so what we're waiting on now, which is going to be coming up now, is all the DNA and all the evidence and any type of body part that they're able to find, because they were there at that scene on another investigation. They had no idea they were going to come across her body.
Right.
So they're looking for another case. So all the remains that are going to be found, they'll go ahead and do the investigation to see if she was shot, how she was murdered. And the most important thing they're going to do is check his phone at that time and that date of stamp and ping him to see if he was in that location. And then that right there.
They're going to do all kind of stuff to figure out who did it. Investigating time.
Yeah. So we're going to keep up on that case. technical difficulties there, unfortunately. Now we're going to have the Powell murder case, which is real puzzling. You know, I don't understand this one at all, but you never know. She was very highly educated. She was an eco-map technology major. What's that? CEO. Very intelligent. And they found her dead in her apartment on North Howard Street. And murder was a blood force trauma to her head and even body.
Right. They said they found her on the roof.
Yeah, they found her on the roof. And then they did find the murder suspect today because they was a puzzled case, and they arrested him today. They were on a massive manhunt for him. And what's his name? You know, we'll find it in the news clip here.
Yeah,
is this the clipping right here?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, let's see if this one works.
All right.
News overnight in the murder of a 26-year-old tech CEO. Police tracked down the suspect who has a long criminal history. Stephanie Ramos is here with the latest. Good morning, Stephanie.
Robin, good morning. This guy has a really long rap sheet. He was considered highly dangerous, but was caught overnight in Bowie, Maryland after 2 days of being on the run.
Overnight, Jason Dean Billingsley, the suspect in the murder of beloved 26-year-old tech executive Powell, arrested. The urgent multi-agency manhunt ending after law enforcement tracked him to this Maryland train station, authorities taking him into custody without incident. Lapierre, a promising young CEO at the head of a tech company worth millions.
Hi, I'm Pava. I'm the co-founder and CEO at EcoMap.
Found dead just before noon Monday at her Baltimore apartment complex. Police say she showed signs of blunt force trauma. Some officials asking why Billingsley, a registered sex offender, was out on the streets at all. Billingsley sentenced to 30 years after pleading guilty to sex crimes in 2015. Released last fall for good behavior. But legal experts say this is not uncommon.
Billingsley could get out in 2022 based on good behavior and also participating in vocational training or therapy. So it does make sense that he got out almost last year.
Overnight, family and loved ones honoring her life.
She was the definition of daddy's little girl. She had
the memorial.
And still does.
What is she?
She turned from being daddy's little girl into being a girl boss.
At such a young age, Lapierre was already so successful. She had just recently been named in Forbes' 30 under 30 list. Now, the details leading up to Lapierre's death are still
at 26 years old.
Robin,
30
we continue to think of her family.
Yes.
All right.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show.
Well, I wonder where he might have just came across her. How did he get in her building?
Well, I believe from another news report that I was watching, he worked in the building.
Oh, he worked in the building.
Right.
How did he get a job in the building? He's a sexual predator. He's released out of prison. He had a 30-year sentence?
A 30-year sentence, but he got out in way before. I mean,
8 years.
Yeah.
That's an early release. And they said it was an actual mistake. It was a paperwork. It was a computer error on how he got released. He wasn't supposed to be released.
Are you sure?
I heard, yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard that. Yeah, I heard that today.
Because that's crazy, because I know there was another incident that happened where they let a guy out.
That wouldn't be my luck. I'd be in there for life.
No, I have no plans. No,
so now, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, that's just a surprising case because she's 26 years old. She's brilliant, you know, to the EcoMap technology CEO at that age. I remember seeing a story about her a while back because she travels all over the world, you know, talking about her projects. Very smart, intelligent individual, but it looks like she was being watched by a predator in the building who's released when he shouldn't be released. Where was he from, I wonder?
I think that area. That's where he was.
All right. So now we're going to also keep a close eye on this one and see where it goes from here, because they did catch and they got him in custody. So we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, this one's under investigation as well.
Yeah, it's a big investigation right now on that one. So, and then we're going to also do another recap that we covered a week ago, so ago, on the Sidney Powell case. This one's destroyed me, actually, because now every time I cook, and I use my skillet, I think of this girl killing her mother with a skillet and slapping her around in the head.
No, this is really horrible.
That's put trauma on me. So,
I know, because I think about that, it's.
Yeah, she's a young girl too, college, 23 now, I think she is.
I believe so, yeah.
And she killed her mom over a dispute of college, getting thrown out of college. She comes home, they get in the argument. Mom calls the college to find out the truth about exactly what happened with the daughter getting thrown out of college. And the reason why, because Sidney lied about why she was expelled and thrown out of college. Well, and it was because of the garage she couldn't keep.
She was out.
No, she was lying all the way through. But anyway, the mom was going to throw her out of the house. So for you moms out there, be careful, because look what can happen. This daughter went nuts, beat her mom with the skillet, and then stabbed her to death, and then tried to come up with a whole scheme that it was a break-in.
Yeah, the intruder.
Yeah.
And that's what the jury was saying that they couldn't get past, was that she came up with a story that it was an intruder.
And that's where she messed up, because if she just would have did it in panic mode and said, oh God, what did I do? Called the police for help, try to save her mom, instead of now stab her to death and come up with a story. That's what made the jury change their mind to charge her for what she got charged today. And I knew that's what they were going to get her on. But, she'll probably get a real early release as well, too.
Right, because she got 15 years to life.
15 to life. And I bet you she'll be out in 10.
Or 5. The other guy got out in 8 years for a 30-year sentence. I mean,
well, just keep her away from the kitchen and all the skillets.
Okay.
Maybe they'll put her in the kitchen in the prison.
Okay, we got to have some compassion here. Okay, this is somebody.
All right, well, let's get back to seriousness here. But no, the mom died, in a tragic way.
That's on, yeah.
All the 911 calls we played last week, we went over the body cam of the cops. They had that. So. Do you have footage with her, or we just?
Yeah, I got the court cam.
Oh, the court. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to look at the sentencing of this.
Which was today.
Go ahead and add this.
Look at her.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her, because she does have some mental illness. She's got some problems.
Well, yeah,
I feel so bad.
We'll watch, okay? Because they're going to suggest,
Are they?
All right. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay.
At this time.
Okay. I have advised Ms. Powell that given the nature of her appeal, she should not make a statement today.
And I understand that, but I have to give her the opportunity to do so. All right. Thank you very much. First of all, to the victims, to the family and friends, I am terribly sorry for your loss here. I cannot imagine what you have been through. I have received and read all of the letters that have been sent to me. I have considered the evidence that was brought into evidence at the trial, the statements of counsel, and all of the information that is before me at this time. I do find that counts 2 and 3 merge with count 1 for purposes of sentencing in this matter. Based upon the facts and circumstances of this case, and in consideration of the relevant sentencing factors, including seriousness and recidivism, and applying the minimum sanction that the court has determined will protect the public and punish the offender without imposing an unnecessary burden on state and local resources, the court imposes the following sentence. On count 1, ma'am, I sentence you to an indefinite sentence of 15 years to life in the Ohio Department of Corrections. On count 4 of the indictment, I sentence you to 3 years in the Ohio Department of Corrections. Those 2 sentences to be run concurrent with and not consecutive to each other. Ma'am, please understand that on count 4 of the indictment, you may be subject to a period of post-release control upon your release. And if you violate that post-release control, the Adult Parole Authority is authorized to return you to prison for up to 9 months for any single violation and up to 50% of your prison sentence for all violations. Please also understand that if you're placed on post-release control and you are convicted of a new felony, in addition to being punished for that new offense, the judge could add an additional consecutive 1-year period of time in prison, whichever is greater, as a maximum. Ma'am, understand that you have a right to appeal this decision, and that notice of appeal must be filed within 30 days of the sentencing judgment entry. Your attorney has indicated to me that you are without funds to hire an attorney to represent you for appeal. Is that correct? And you wish for me to appoint counsel to represent you? Yes, sir. All right. I will do that. We will try and get that done before you leave the Summit County Jail. Ma'am, I will not fine you. I will not assess you court costs in this matter. Counsel, is there anything that I have forgotten?
That's due to the age.
No, Your Honor, I neglected to do this earlier, and I apologize.
Wow.
Oh.
This is a tough one too, because now her brother and now dad they're suffering, you know, because they lost their mom, they lost their sister. And, you know, and the grandmother too. The grandmother was very close because that's who she lived with for the last 3 years on her farm. Right. Yeah, that's a tough one right there. But she's getting what she deserves. She did commit murder.
Right.
In a cruel way. And it's not a bad thing. You know, it's a bad situation for the family, but she has to serve her time.
Right.
So now the next case we're going to go ahead and go over, which is the biggest one. I mean, this guy is something else. He's an animal. The alleged murder of the college students.
The Idaho 4.
Yeah, the Idaho 4. Maddie, Katie, Xenia, and Ethan. You know, he was a triplet. You know that?
I think I heard that before.
Yeah, I saw it today. He was a triplet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is something. I mean, what puzzles me, and this is my opinion on this case, okay, is how did it happen? Why did it happen? And how did he know the girls? How did it happen?
I know.
So the way I think it's all come down is the girls love to go eat at a close restaurant right there called the Mad Greek Restaurant. And they also do a famous Greek vegan meals, which the girls were vegan. And then also, so was Kohberger. He was vegan. So I think where my opinion is that's where because there was witnesses to say that they have been in that restaurant, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
They met there eating, and I bet you they engaged in conversations. And that's how he ran into these girls, because how else in that town is he just going to run into this group of girls and decide that's the group he's going to go to?
Well, there's also the report of him sliding into the DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, he's also that's what I was getting ready to get into that. He definitely, like I said, I feel that he did meet them there. Okay, got into conversations with them, and as you know, he's been known to go and drive to where they lived numbers of times. Right now that they pinged his phone, and they were on social media, following all three of the girls on social media. But the one that there was one girl that he actually followed the most and who he was in conversation with repeatedly, always messaging the one girl. We don't know which one it is because they're holding that one back, but I'm sure that was Maddie.
Right.
Because that's the one he focused on. And that I allegedly think he focused on was her first, because that's who he got first. So, and that was, they determined that from the DEA and how the situation of the room is, where the bed was leaned up against the left part of the room where Kaylee was, and she wasn't escaped. She was trapped in there.
Yeah,
and then
and
her
they probably
defensive
took them by
wounds.
surprise. Like
They're always taken by surprise because they were all partying all night at wee hours of the morning, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. This Kohberger is always out running around late at night, you know. But
that was supposed to be like his alibi or something. Like he was just driving around. Like that's not an alibi.
Well, he's been known. There's been I don't know how many pings they came up with, 5 or 7. I can't remember what it was. Shown him around the house previous weeks before the murders.
Here, I could put up the timeline if you want.
Yeah, and we'll do that in a minute. I do believe that he's been in their home before. Because how do they know?
Like through like a party or something?
Yeah, he waited till at night.
Knows, like,
It's one of those big parties. That's why he knew the layout, because he went there knowing they party all the time. It's a free-for-all, doors wide open, at night for a party. People answer the door and they don't even know.
Like they don't even live there. Right?
No. So he probably went in there, played his little role, and cased out the place and knew exactly where her bedroom was. Because how would he know to walk right in there, go right to the other floor? The third floor is where it happened, because the survivor was on the second floor, who called 911 the next day.
Yeah.
So he's been there before. I'm telling you, he knew the layout. This guy knows. He knows the criminal technology, because that's what he does. He's a major in criminology. That's why he studied this. He knows exactly what he's doing. Because Jasmine is the one, if I recall, that was on the second floor, who heard at 4 o'clock in the morning, between 4 and 4:20, the noises, the moans and the screaming, and didn't realize what it was, because unfortunately there's a lot of moaning and screaming going on at night at that house. So they don't catch what it is, I mean, it's a party house, unfortunately, and I hate to say that, but it is. So I do think that he knew the home. He cased out the home. He had multiple pictures found on his phone of one of the girls. We don't know which one, and that will come out soon too. And the other thing is when he murdered the girls and also the boy who was a triplet, and then the other girl witnessed him leaving. Then after all the murders, so many other people were on the crime scene and saw the crime scene. It went long to the next day until noon is when the phone call was made. And when the cops got there, there were a number of people already in the home. So they already saw the scene. They already knew what was going on. Tons of people in the home.
Wow.
Kohberger was there that night. Well, allegedly murdering these girls and the gentleman. I think he had a kill kit, because he didn't have anything left behind. Imagine he used a knife, he cut their throats, cut them. They bled out, as they said, a lot of blood on the scene. No marks of blood, no nothing.
Yeah.
I think he changed his clothes. He had booties on. He had the mask on. He definitely had the booties on and the change of clothes. He was dressed for the occasion. Again,
allegedly,
using his mind that he was trained in and taking all these classes to do this. He trained himself to know the crimes.
Like a Dexter.
Like I said last week, he is our Dexter today in real life. I'm going to tell you, he's Dexter. He's an alleged murderer of 4 people. He definitely stalked them, and he definitely knew what he was going for. He targeted them. He hunted them. And he only wanted the one, because he had no idea that these girls were friends and they slept together in the same room a lot. If they didn't have other things going on, he didn't know she was going to be in there. Otherwise, it probably would have been a targeted murder for one.
So you think he would have just went in for one person?
I know he would have. It came to where he had no choice with the others. And we'll see. But remember, this is my determination of what happened. Because I know he had to have known these girls before. There's no way he just picked them out of a hat and let me go walk into this room and know they're up here and know where to go. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's trained. He's very intelligent. Like I told you guys last week, he's smarter than most of the people to the right and left of him in that courtroom. He's very intelligent. And I do believe he had that kill kit, because at 4:18 and between
I'm going to add the timeline.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I got that too.
The map.
Yeah, let me see this, because I can't see it. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, so we have August 21st, 2022. Bryan Kohberger's phone is picked up close to the Moscow murder house. Now, that's August 21st, between 10:34 and 11:35. So that's enough time. What's that?
That's in the summer. That's before.
Way before, right? Yeah. This happened in the wintertime, close to the holidays. So now we have 10:34 to 11:35 p.m. That's enough time to walk through that house and do what he has to do and pretend he's one of those, little buddies in there.
Oh, definitely. It's a whole hour.
And then November 13th was the murders. So number 2, November 13th, 2022, at 2:42 a.m., Kohberger's phone is picked up near his home in Pullman, Washington. Number 3, at 2:47 a.m., phone began to travel again. Now look at this. This is late now. These guys are out like there's nothing, no tomorrow. They're traveling south.
At that time, at 3, it says he began to travel south, right?
Right.
And then, so next, go ahead.
Well, he went through Pullman before going offline. Okay, so he's traveling. So he got home at 2:42 a.m. Then he's back out at 2:47. He just dropped something off, ran right back out, threw something in, came right back out, you know. So then number 4 is 4 a.m. to 4:20. Maddie, Mogan, Kaylee, all the girls and Ethan, they were all murdered. And that was between 4 a.m. and 4:20. Now at 4:48 a.m., Kohberger's phone is pinged again on the Idaho State Highway 95 south of Moscow.
Yeah.
And then
that
so
was what, 5?
That was at 4:48, and then at 5:30, his phone is back at his apartment. He has a 2-bedroom apartment that's paid for. He's part of the university program, and that apartment was searched just recently too on the new evidence that they found. But we'll get into that in a second too. So then the phone arrives, Kohberger's home, and now number 7, 9 a.m., Kohberger's phone begins to move again. The guy's on the move again. Where's he going? 9:32. Phone is pinged up near Moscow murder house again. Now, murderers always go back to the crime scene, wants to see what's happening. He went back to the crime scene in Moscow murder house. Pinged on his phone, no way out of it. His dog didn't take it and go run around and sniff him out. That he was there. So at 12:36 p.m., Kohberger drives past Kate's Cup of Joe coffee stand. Why? Maybe to see if maybe some of the other college students were there where they go get their cup of coffees in the morning. Who knows?
It's Clarkston. It's down here.
And that's, what's that?
It's south of everything.
That's south, correct. And now at 12:46 p.m., this guy's busy. Kohberger visits Albertson's grocery store.
That's in Clarkston.
And that's in Clarkston.
Yeah,
and that's all the mappings of what he was in the time schedules of everything that he's done. And then the new evidence that they're picking up on him and the warrants that they did issue were for his all of his social media, Amazon, his Apple accounts, just going into everything just to see what pictures he has or what's on there. They took everything now. And then they also, what's that?
Also, it was Amazon. They wanted to do
the Amazon,
everything, like his history, what he was purchasing,
what he right
during certain time frames to see if he was purchasing murder weapons, any of those items.
Right, because their main thing is that knife.
Yeah,
and because
it's
now
K-bar. It's
right,
like, for usually what Marines
usually wear military special forces, and now they also found in his apartment, which is a 2-bedroom apartment, the 1 bedroom is padlocked because it's a university apartment. So you can never enter that 1 bedroom. It's for if they let somebody else in there. So they did search everything. They did search that bedroom and got in there, the police, and they can tell that nobody was in there. But they did find and locate blood stains on his pillowcase and on the mattress. So they just took those to the evidence.
Stains, or is it like, did they determine that?
They did determine blood stains because they did when they had it, they noticed it was brown spots, but then they did the test and they knew it was some type of a blood stain. Whose, they have no idea. And then it was just an abnormal of an apartment. Hardly any furniture, hardly anything in there, very limited on things, just very weird living type. But I guess that's how
minimal.
Yeah, I guess that's how, an alleged murderer might be, because I'm going to tell you, I love that show Dexter, and this guy is our little Dexter because he is out there doing exactly what he learned, trained, and had his PhD degree in. So
we still gotta
all
go
the,
to
this
trial.
is, oh yeah, he's going to trial, and that's on June, that's coming up. When is that trial?
Well,
Oh, they
it's
don't
we
determine
haven't
that.
set the I know we're supposed to go back, or they're supposed to go back for a hearing and stuff, but I don't know when they set the trial date because he waived his right to a speedy
The
trial.
speed of trial, yeah. And there's definitely not going to be cameras in there.
Have they decided that?
I'm pretty much sure they're not going to have cameras in there. It's already too many things going up and down. You know, they can't take any chances of this thing getting thrown out. You know what I mean?
Right. There's
And
a
now
lot.
with this new evidence that they found, this could be a really good breaking part of the case because we got to see whose blood that is.
Right.
You know?
They have to do the testing, and I mean, they're still doing a lot of investigating. Like I came across today, they had new documents in the case against Bryan Kohberger, and this is like supposed to shed light on the prosecution's case.
Yeah.
And that's all, like I was saying, with the background and history and everything. So if
Right.
you wanted to, I can start playing the clip on this. And
Yeah, let's play that and see what's going on.
All right.
Brand new for you this morning, newly
Well, maybe.
You're right, maybe. Maybe.
Police court documents are revealing that police in the Moscow murder.
I'm just going to refresh it and see if it
Everybody
works.
excuse us. Technology and I don't get along too well.
Brand new for you this.
It's like it's just the signal for this one.
This morning, newly released court documents are revealing that.
I can find another clip.
Yeah, I don't know what happens with that signal, but it's been messing
Police
with
in the Moscow murders case are asking for information.
Here, I'll go ahead and find another clip on this. But
yeah, I'm interested in finding out exactly what that whose blood that was, you know, because it's just too coincidental that he's never been there before, never had conversations with these girls before. You know, he definitely had to have conversation with those girls before to have pictures. And he was
he had pictures on his phone of them.
Yeah, on his social media. Because I know I'm 99% sure that he was targeting Maddie. You know, that was the one he was after, and I'm sure we'll know that. Which here's the pictures of all four.
Yeah, this is
and there's
new stream, so I'm gonna try this one out.
He's a triplet. That's unbelievable.
Let me go back and enlarge it. Here we go.
Here we go again, folks. Let's see if we can get this going.
Let's see if this one will work.
Thursday, September 28th, Johnny Gunn's investigation.
Brand new for you.
Lounge with Becky. And this one's giving us problems here too.
This morning, newly released court documents are revealing that police in the Moscow murders case are asking for more information from several big tech companies.
Doesn't look like this wants to work either.
Search warrants were obtained over the summer and are asking for
That's over the Suzanne Morphew one.
Yeah, we went over that one.
Yeah.
In this
and
case,
there
Bryan
he is, the
Kohberger's
culprit.
customer information on Amazon.
I'm just gonna.
Apple
his
and
mugshot, Bryan
Prosecutors
Kohberger.
previously asked Amazon.
I'm gonna stop this now since it's not gonna play through.
For information.
That's the knife they're actually looking for.
Yeah, the K-bar.
Yeah, that's the Marine style knife that they're looking for.
It was like there was some kind of DNA on the sheath of it, so that's the reason why.
That's what still gets me. I know for a fact he had to have some type of a kill kit. There was nothing left. There was no trails. He didn't step in any blood. What did he do? Fly through the rooms and fly? I mean, there was so much blood there at the scenes. I mean, he had to have this thing figured out, planned out to the end. He's trained highly and educated highly in his PhD, being in criminal
Brand new
technology.
for you this morning, newly released.
I'm trying this one again, but it's not going to work. All right. So basically, with that, they're just looking into his background.
Yeah, they're just looking more into his background, just trying to figure things out on everything about the guy now. I mean, things will come up. We have an ex-girlfriend that I saw has been texting and trying to get a hold of him and telling him how much she loves him and misses him, and he's such a good person. And I saw that the other night, which is crazy, this woman. But you got them coming out of the woodwork. Even when they're in prison, you got these girls over there.
Well, but you said that was an ex-girlfriend of
It was
his?
his ex-girlfriend, yeah, from years ago, you know, and she's saying what a great of a person he is. She can never imagine him doing anything like this.
I mean, that's her perspective, and she's entitled to it. I mean, he hasn't been tried yet, so.
No, exactly. So everything's allegedly, you know, until he's tried and he's found guilty and convicted, and then we can just call him the animal that he is. And then they'll make a movie. What is this? This is all the layout, and this is the mapping of everywhere he went.
Yeah, so it's like he's in Pullman, and it's just across the line. So he wasn't very far at all.
No, not at all. And what gets me is these kids. Well, I guess not. They're college kids. They're out all night long. I mean, that house, that was a party house of the community over there, of the college, I guess, because I watched a bunch of clips of cops going there for loud noise, all different types of calls and complaints. And hardly ever the people who lived there answered the doors. And a couple of weeks ago, Becky and I were listening to footage of the Kohberger murders, and they had footage of a ring camera from the neighbor, and they took it down because we tried to find it again today, but we did hear it. And on that ring camera, you can actually hear screaming, dogs, big bangs.
I don't know what I heard. I don't remember really what the video was titled. So
I forgot what it was titled, but they pulled it. Yeah, and it was pulled out because we heard it, and I know I heard this just like on the body cam of the cop when he was with those 4 teenagers that were chased for public intoxication. He had his body cam on. And yeah, we need to find that footage too and see if we can play that for you guys too, because on the body cam, you can hear you can see the house in the background, number one, that's how close they were, but you can actually hear the dog barking and major screaming because it echoes. And I heard screaming on it, and so did everybody else. You know, 3 out of the 4, one didn't hear it on whatever newscast that was, but we'll find that clipping too, and I'll see if I can bring it back, and we'll play that clipping if we're able to get through it, for God's sakes, with the signal here. But we'll figure that out, and we'll make sure we fix that technology issue.
Referring to.
Yeah, I have it. And then I'll find it, and then we'll play that clip of the body cam of the 4 teenagers that they were actually chasing them at night because they were drinking, and it was public intoxication. So it's a good video, and we'll find that and bring it to you guys. And then we'll work on
for that right now. So I'm trying to see if I can find that. It's
the body cam. I had it written down, but we had it on. I watched it on that last video. But this is a strong case, and I followed that one yesterday too. That Chad Dawsman, that maniac scumbag father, Chad Dawsman, who killed his kids in his front yard, executional style. Whose sentences is happening now. What a sick individual. I went over that yesterday just for about 20 minutes. But there's so many things happening. But
I found the clip.
Okay, let's see if we can let's see if it'll play. And if we can, this is a good clip. Right. And this is going back to the Kohberger.
It's
the police body cam with the 4 teenagers, the 4 college kids.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not teenagers, they're in their 20s, young adults.
Yeah, they were right across from where the house was.
Yeah, you can see the house. You said you had it?
Yeah, me had it.
There it is.
Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand?
Yeah, I'm 21.
You got the ID on you?
I don't.
Okay.
I'll take it back to my apartment if you need.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You got a driver's license?
I don't have it.
In general.
I do have one, yeah.
What state is it through?
Idaho.
Lit up in the back.
I'm just going to check if everything's good. Since they're not open, I'll let you hang on to them.
Okay. So will I get charged with anything?
No.
Or?
No.
Okay.
But it's just enough for me to stop, check, make sure you're 21, walking around here in public.
Alrighty.
Moscow 77, check one. What's that?
Am I going to take off? Or?
No, let me run this through dispatch. Make sure you're actually 21 and give me a fake birthday or anything.
He's trying to take off, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh, buddy.
And then you'll see a couple of other guys running behind that way in the back seat.
Yeah, I think that's the first one I've seen.
Yeah.
One. So if that comes back good, yeah, you're free to go. Are these your boys?
No, I don't know them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys taking off on me?
I didn't hear you. Yeah, we thought you were talking.
You all three turned around and I pointed my flashlight and you said, hey, come here. You guys all turned around and walked away.
I thought it was just like a fake person, honestly. Yeah, it's like
How many fake people are out here that you've experienced?
How's your night going?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Just trying to stay warm.
Is that y'all's car right there?
Gas. They downgraded us from patrol cars.
Gotcha.
They gave us hybrids to save on fuel.
You better hope they don't catch on fire.
Which lets me know that actually exists. I'll catch you this, all right?
No worries.
Why don't you guys all have a drink tonight?
It's fun.
Beers? Yeah. Hard liquor or anything like that? No.
Come on, guys.
See, there it is, the house.
So it's up, yeah, the catty corner, not straight
across catty corner to the left,
hill.
right?
All right, if you guys all want to stand somewhere in this area.
I'll find the clip where we can see the people running behind the cop.
Yeah, you remember that? I remember those other guys taking off running. That's why so many suspicious activities at night.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Unbelievable. But what I do think is everybody focuses on that little area. That's that partying area of that.
Yeah, there was
community.
a frat house right there.
Yeah, I mean, you got frat houses. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. These guys are running around like it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's university for you. That's college. Like, that's when you're young.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, so there was also 4 other college students running behind the scene of it all away. And it's just so many weird activities that night. But we know who did it. And I'm sure the courts and in the trial and the jury will do what's right. I mean, the evidence that they have against them is so strong.
Maybe 6'1".
Right,
Wait. 177.
Hair color?
Blonde. Blonde.
Eye color?
Blue.
Just giving guys information. He should show where
All right.
I wonder how close it is to the college from where the house is.
The university actually owns
Get this curtain back. Have the sign. We'll get you on your way, okay? All right. So the instructions on the back. Like I said, 487.50. And again, have it paid or contested by December 1st, okay? Sign the yellow line is not an admission of guilt. It's just saying that you acknowledge the fine date there, okay?
What's he getting? A public intoxication? And getting tickets. Hey, as long as at least they were walking, not driving, right? They were walking or running. They were running. They were taking it. Just 3 a.m. jog.
So obviously you're in drinking college, so it's both of you. Smart about it, don't be staggering drunk out in public and stuff, okay? So you're free to go. Thank you. Right, you as well.
Oh, they're undercover. See, I got you. That's why they're in it.
All right, what's the last 4 of your social?
2. You can find the other one because it doesn't look like they're gonna show it on this one.
Yeah, there's so many of them now.
I know there's a lot of footage.
I just wish we still had that one we heard weeks ago with the footage of that Ring camera.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I know. I don't know why they pulled it, but it's because of the investigation. They had to pull it for the investigation.
Well, I don't know, so we can't.
We don't know, right? It's allegedly that we heard that. I don't know what I heard that day. I heard something.
All right. Well, that
Well,
was
everybody.
what I had like already prepared. I wasn't prepared for the other stuff that you were mentioning. So
Yeah. But everybody, I hope you enjoyed our show tonight. We try to bring as much footage as we can. We've got a lot of things in the work. There's so many court dates. We have the Mia trial. We got so many things going on. But we have Thursday, September 28th. It's a beautiful evening out there. We have Johnny Gunn's investigation along with True Crime Lounge with Becky. And you guys have a great night out there, and be safe and be careful.
see you later.
See you later, guys.